Back to follow-up segment tonight, we continue our reporting on the trade that brought Sergeant Bergdahl back to the USA in return for releasing 5 top Taliban terrorists from Guantanamo Bay. As you may know, Sergeant Bergdahl has now been charged with desertion and misbehavior before the enemy. If convicted of those charges in a military court, he could serve life in prison. That has embarrassed the Obama administration. Made a big deal out of the sergeant's release, bringing his parents to the White House from Idaho. But here's what's new tonight. In 2009, the Naval Criminal Investigative Agency, NCIS, filed a report on Bergdahl's activities in Afghanistan. The NCIS, considered the military's best investigative agency, became involved in the case once Bergdahl went missing on June 30th of that year, 2009. The NCIS report cited some very disturbing information. Joining us now from Washington, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, who has new facts about that NCIS report. So, did you see the report?
No, Bill, I have not seen it, but I have been in contact with 2 individuals who are did not only see it, they are actually part of the investigation in various aspects of it. So they did see the report, and they told you the insight.
What is the headline? Yes. What is the headline?
The headline is, this is what's behind the Article 99 misbehavior charge. Essentially, there's clear evidence that he was, quote-unquote, going over to the other side, and he had a deliberate plan. There's 2 different strings here, Bill, that go off. First, one of the strings says that he was going to go off to Uzbekistan. He had made contacts with the local Afghans and wanted to be moved to Uzbekistan, and then made contact with the Russians because he wanted to talk to Russian organized crime. The other thread says that he did move out with a purpose. He had Afghan contacts, and he was actually trying to offer himself up to the Taliban. Both are very severe. And let me be very clear. This came from the NCIS doing computer forensics on his computer through both detailed debriefings of his platoon mates, as well as going outside the wire. And God bless NCIS, went outside the wire, tracked down the Afghans he had contact with. So those 3 sources came together.
He was involved with some kind of security where he was speaking with Afghans while he was a member of the Army. But
that's right.
You know, these are wild tales. I mean, you go to Uzbekistan and he wants to meet the Russians and become a hitman. I mean, this shows a guy who's mentally imbalanced, does it not?
No doubt. And that's one of the facts. Bill, is that clearly he was not all there relating to what he was doing. And I think we're going to see more and more as this report is made public that there were a number of disconcerting things within Bergdahl. And let me be clear on this. I'm not trying to explain away his bad behavior.
No. We just want to know what the NCIS came up with. We understand that. But when will this report be made public? Because it has not. This is a secret report.
This report right now is part of General Dahl's larger report. This was reviewed and validated by General Dahl. So I think what we're going to see here is that this, again, my information, Bill, is that from 2 very senior sources, this is the information behind the Article 99 charge.
So he's charged with misbehavior toward the enemy. So you could say collaboration, and you could say a whole bunch of words. Now, here's the key. That was done and completed in 2009. Right? Bergdahl was traded, last year, 14, right? The trade was last year. That's 5 years, all right, where he was held by the Taliban. So wouldn't the Obama administration know, based upon the initial investigation by the NCIS, that this was a troubled guy who did some, serious things against his country? Even if he was a loon, he still did them, all right? Why would they make such a big dog and pony show out of this?
Well, I was briefed on some of the initial elements back when I was asked to first help out on the Bergdahl recovery back in 2012, Bill. More to come on this. Let me be very clear. There's indications that senior leaders who were in constant contact with the White House did know these details we just talked about as early as 2010. And then there's no way they could not have been shared with the White House. And I think that's what
the commander-in-chief. President Obama's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You're telling me he's going to make a trade for 5 top Taliban commanders, and he doesn't know all the facts about who he's trading for?
There's no way. This information had to be provided.
But then why would he make such a big deal out of it, trying to make it like it's the greatest deal in the world? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Bill, I think this White House, because they have nobody from the senior military background serving, that do not understand context. As far as I can tell,
Jeez.
It was more important to get the Taliban gone and this guy back, and they could try to explain away why it's okay he walked away.
All right, Colonel. We appreciate the report directly ahead. Should the federal government be able to tell you how to conduct your business?